and welcome to Introducing. I'm Liam from BionicViking.com, and today the title that we are introducing is Titanfall, although it might not need some introduction because the amount of hype and media coverage that this title has received in the months leading up to its release has been fucking insane. But my initial thoughts on the game after playing 6 hours are pretty positive. You know, I'm enjoying it, although I am a bigger fan of single player than multiplayer. This is a multiplayer only release, but it's still fun. I still have been able to enjoy myself with the game, and I've still been able to kick some ass. I mean, I think that's the most important thing with a multiplayer shooter, is it's only the funnest when you're actually, you know, you're contributing towards the objective that your team's working towards, and you know you can kind of sense that you're getting better at it game by game, or a couple games after a couple games, and that's exactly the experience that you get with Titanfall. Now, I used to be, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I used to be a diehard Call of Duty fan. You know, the type of kid, I used to get home from school, you know, put in Black Ops or put in World at War, whatever it was, you know, play for 4 hours, rage my absolute nuts off, and then, yeah, I guess just throw the controller, break the controller, whatever it is, and then get on with whatever else there was to do, because that game, the Call of Duty, kind of, the identity that Call of Duty had was a very shaky one. Now, Titanfall, on the other hand, seems a lot more sustainable, in the way that, you know, I have played 6 hours of the game, and there hasn't been a second that I have kind of cursed the game for its mechanics or the way it's designed. And I think the reason that is because the developers have made this game to be really, really fun and really combustible. I mean, this is a game that is just like, it's basically like putting a fuck ton of dynamite in a volcano and then just waiting to see what happens. I mean, that's the best way I can describe this game, is that you'll get into a lobby, and the first game that you'll play, you will be locked in, you'll be focused, you'll be fucking sweating, you'll be very, very involved in the game. It's not a game where you can really passively play it. You're definitely, yeah. Within that, it is still a Twitch shooter, and it still is very similar to Call of Duty in the way of, it is an online first-person shooter. It is a multiplayer-only title. And it is Twitch. I mean, it is Twitch. It's a very twitchy shooter. I mean, you see someone, you're like, oh fuck, and then you shoot him. If you know, whoever shoots whoever first, whatever it is, maybe if it's a Titan, it might be a bit harder to take him down if you're in the pilot. But the determining factor in this game is that it is definitely a good amount of fun, and it is definitely a good amount of mayhem as well. That being said, when it was initially announced and when it went into its beta, I was pretty hesitant, because I'm a fan of single-player games, and this is a multiplayer-only title. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, you know, if it was just going to be another Call of Duty clone. I didn't know if I wanted to spend $80 on a game that, you know, I might not get more than, say, 30 hours on, which is usually, you know, the amount of time I want to get out of a game, even if it is like a 6-hour story. I want to have some replayability in there. I want to have some character progression. I want to be able to, you know, I want, when there's games like Skyrim coming out where you can put 120 hours into the game, I mean, I feel like 30 should be kind of like the cutoff. Now, with that in mind, when I was playing through the beta, I didn't know if I was going to pick the game up. By the end of the beta, I had pretty much set my mind on getting this game. It was only 2 maps. I didn't really get into the character progression too deep, but the amount of leeway that this game gives you, being a starter, being a beginner. I mean, I'm not a beginner to the online first-person shooter element, but I am definitely a beginner to this style of game where it is, I guess everyone is, because when you have such a level of verticality that's explored with these giant titans, I mean, you can't really, there's not another game where you can kind of hone up on your skills before the release of this. It's definitely a unique game. It definitely has its own space, its own genre within reason. That being said, I'm enjoying it a lot for being a multiplayer-only title, and so far I haven't regret my purchase of the game, the full purchase of $74 at Target, compared to, I think it was like $95 or like $110 at EB Games. So hunt those deals, man. Joystick had my ass covered, and luckily I checked out Joystick on the day, and they said, hey, yeah, Target has it for $74. That being said, with the multiplayer element, there still is a campaign. Now, this campaign is kind of an afterthought. The way that it's displayed or kind of told to you, the story is through the top right of your screen, which is you would have seen before. You have your commander talking to you, and stuff happens like that, and you have little cutscenes before each game. But it's really, yeah, I mean, it's not, if you're buying this game for a campaign experience, don't do it, because the campaign is just kind of there to give some sort of reason and to set some sort of premise for why there are giant mechs jumping around, and how explains how expensive all of this would be without the storyline. The point is that the planet that they're, or the planets that they're fighting on, are resource rich, and anyway, it just kind of gives you introduction to the world, and lets you know what's up, basically. So you're not just kind of running around killing IMCs or militia with no reason. This was actually a really awesome bit in the game I was playing before, where I got in the Titan, I confronted a Titan, and then he fired his rockets, made smoke, I jumped out, I jumped on the back of him, and rodeoed him until he died. Now, the Auto Titan can be fucking awesome. If you have the game and you haven't given the Auto Titan a go, definitely do that, especially in the way that jump in the Titan initially, confront someone, then jump out and jump back in, because then they'll be like, oh fuck, this guy, is he above me? Is he about to rodeo me? Like, what is he doing? It can be a good way to use a Titan, because in my experience going face, yeah, like right now on the screen, face to face with a Titan, doesn't often end well, unless, of course, in that case where I just absolutely destroy him with nukes, and then he nuclear ejects on me, and that was fun. Apart from that, it is a very similar pace to Call of Duty. It's very visually impressive. There's dedicated servers. It's very forgiving with the AI. The maps work well with both Titans and pilots. There are 3 Titans. There's the Strider Titan, which is based on speed. There's the Atlas Titan, which is based on frontline action and being able to maneuver without the speed part, I guess. And the Ogre is just the tank, just the big fucking lug that takes all the damage. But the last thing to keep in mind is that if you enjoy multiplayer shooters that are fast, combustible, and kind of dynamic in the way that the Titan and the pilot interacts, you will enjoy this game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been Introducing. I'm Liam from BionicViking.com. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.
All I see is bloodshed. I don't see any change.